and welcome. I'm Mind More to the channel. Today I come to share with you one of the transformations or projects that I have been doing in the month of April, of which I can be most proud. As for the result in this case, well, today I have the companion. Martina. You already know that here every day there is a different companion who sneaks into the audio of the video, and today she is going to be Martina as a guest. Well, as you can see, we are going to do the transformation of the kitchen furniture. You already know that you have a video on the channel. Let's see if I can and remember, and I'll leave it here. Link, that is a low-cost transformation of the kitchen. Where do we change? Well, the countertop, and we already put it, well, selectones, because it was something that was hygienically necessary. We painted all the tiles in the kitchen. It is super good. We have painted them for about 3 years, and they are very good, and it holds up very well. And now let's paint. Well, and I also changed the subject of the extractor hood. We didn't paint the ceiling a little because it has beams that cannot be removed, false beams. It's made of wood. We painted it all white. Well, that video is all very well explained, but now let's get to the kitchen furniture. Frankly, we initially wanted to change all the kitchen furniture doors and make them a white color as lighter. No, because I think it went much more with the shades of my house. For example, if this kitchen is made of wood, I don't know if it is made of wood, but a wood similar to the doors of my house and my cabinets and sea, which are all the same color of wood. Yes, perhaps I would have left it. But it is true that it is a pretty good wood. You see a color like Alberito, that I didn't have anything in this color in my house. And it is true that, yes, it squeaked a little with the rest of the house. What did we do? Well, basically we are looking for, as I tell you, doors to change. But it is true that the doors that today, like Leroy Merlin, IKEA and others, apart from being very expensive because they don't know that they can see you from the door, they sell you the complete module, are the typical ones. Well, plywood, which is a smoking paper, okay? And this is a piece of furniture. Although aesthetically the color is not the one we like the most, yes it was. It is good furniture, good wood, that is, it is a typical kitchen. You know, not about these multinational franchises, but it was about a kitchen furniture company, so they're fine. Then the truth is that I also try to keep them very well, very clean, because it is true that they have what you're seeing there with some little grooves. I try to remove a lot of grease and so on, so I keep it as best I can, although it is true that it has like a kind of varnish, so to speak, the furniture itself, that any little thing we touch a little with our hands, a little more grease, because the little finger was already left and marked. Are we going to paint both this and the edges? Obviously, what is the structure of the furniture so that everything looks consistent? And we are going to start by adding, what I have done is give it with Axle Veil degreaser. I have given it very well. You can see all the grooves vary. Although the furniture was quite clean, and now I remove it very well with a handkerchief, and now I let it dry. Dry as is. I don't dry it because it can get a little wetter. I let it dry in the wind, then with the window in my daughter's room open, so it's going to dry super quickly, and then we're going to start with the paint. The paint you have used is the same that I have used for the interior of the closet in my room. The truth is that I like the result in the painting as much as it is, because we have tried it here, and I have to tell you that it goes very well. I already did this at the end of August, and I do it with these little brushes that are from Leroy Merlin. Come on, everything is from the Leroy Merlin. What I have done is give them all the little ramulites, well, that about the little bites that the doors have, okay, just like I have used it for. Forgive my daughter's screams for giving her the entire structure, and then what I went for was all the smooth parts, finishing with a special brush for cans. Because the paint I'm using is not chalk paint, but can, which I just like much better. The result doesn't leave you any type of clump or roughness or anything, and it leaves everything because it's much smoother and has greater resistance so well that as a type, if it works for you, it's okay, as I'll tell you later. Because with the roller, what I'm going to do is smooth, even smoothing, for example, the edge of the furniture structures that are there in the kitchen and that cannot be stepped on. I have also given all of this to her later with the roller, once they acquire the color with it, that is with the little brush that reaches all the threads as much as possible. No, basically the technique is the same as the one I used, well, for the furniture of the, or for the interior of the closet, which looked very good on me. I say it works great for me. Even the furniture I really try to maintain, even though I have kids, but I try to keep it clean and stuff. And I have no problem right now with what paint is, telling you that I am already seeing what it covers. It covers a lot, and that this furniture is wooden furniture, wood, and it is this color, as well as so yellowish. It's okay that if they have other clearer furniture, then more the truth. And I stated at first, Jose, let's see, he put the kitchen in a light gray so that the furniture would draw a little more attention to the countertop. But hey, my husband wanted it, so in the end you will see that not only has it been left blank, that is what furniture is, yes, but we have added a touch of color at the end so that it is in tune with the rest of the house. Yeah, here you can see the white color that they are acquiring. I gave it, and I'm not exaggerating, like 4 layers for each of the doors. Even the closet itself they put inside. I also gave it 4 coats, that is to make it white enough. And we not only have a type of brush, because with a different tone, I will also tell you that I used it obviously because since at home I had nothing to support the doors. And yes, I removed all the doors, not all at once, but I went as if in pieces. I first removed the entire headboard from the part where I have the fridge, and then it was like in parts. And I used, well, the feet of the clothes. Okay, the clothes racks I'm going to make bigger. It's stained a little, and how to get it out. If you have any tips, leave it to me, because let's see, nothing happens. I have laid it down, and no, that is, the paint is not removed directly, but it is, well, a little ugly, and the stalls are new. That is, I am not going to change them, so if you have any tips to remove it, well, welcome. And now I am seeing that obviously in the end this, which is a work more than about, has no science, that is, it does not need anything out of this world, simply be a little curious about the topic of painting and dedicate time to it. Okay, that's why I did it in August, which was when my husband was at the end of August, or when he was on vacation, because he needs time, then he needs time. I also need Ariel to stay with the Esperia, so that was my problem. But come on, I'm telling you, for example, it took me about 5 days to paint. Okay, then you'll see that I obviously cleaned and we changed some little things such as the handles and so on. But painting lasted me about 5 days. I'm telling you, doing it in parts, okay, because I let it dry very well. That is, after giving it layers between layers, I let it dry here. What is the window? It dried super well. But then he left a whole day for it to dry, so much so that some type of stain that had remained on the paint would appear. Okay? I mean, I did it with a lot of patience. I also have to tell you that my house has very little furniture, that my house comes to have like 7 cabinets, no more than 7 or 8. That's why I also put the bile there in the kitchen, because for me it is a relief when it comes to being able to store things from the kitchen that I need, like spice jars or kitchen jars. Then you will see that I also gave the bill. I mean, I know it's white, but it's true that it wasn't the same shade of white, so it was noticeable. I didn't care so much that it was noticeable. For example, the countertop that is white with my little daughter, this is how you could see the cut with respect to the furniture, even the tiles, which was a different shade of white, but I don't care about that. But it did look very ugly that the Billy had a different shade of white than the rest of the furniture, because in the end it's like another piece of furniture in the kitchen. So what I did, simply the bile, was to give it the outside part, the part of the doors, you know, that I have it entirely made of glass. That is, I have it on the glass bile doors, both the top and bottom. Well, I gave it all the edges and also changed the handles, and obviously I put them the same as the rest of the furniture. What I didn't do was hit the bile inside, because it's already white. Indeed, well, yes, it looks good, but I had to give it that way because the difference was already very noticeable. And well, here you are seeing me now with the part of the kitchen structure, which I think was the most cumbersome, especially this last part. This part of the cameras was what I left for the end. And it was the most cumbersome because I had to remove what is the plate where the typical buttons are. Well, I had to remove it from the glass ceramic one to be able to paint it. Then it didn't allow me to have the vitro on either, so I had to organize myself with the food theme just to be able to use it. What is the microwave and the issue with the bottle rack? Obviously those parts were not removed, and to paint it was complicated. I had to reach all the way to the bottom with the roller, even the part that was just giving the back of the furniture. I could reach as far as I could put the brush, but being so high it was difficult to reach. It doesn't look like that, but as soon as you get up you can see what the shadow of the furniture is. So what you can do is buy the good one. I give it as forgiveness for my daughter, but I'm working with her. I don't have anyone to stay with her, so this is impossible. What I did was buy the typical sprinkle that they sell you for trips to give you touch up your powder and such. In other words, you usually carry in your bag, not makeup. Well, I used it, and since it was so fluffy and so small, thin, it was great for me to finish off that area, let's say, where I couldn't reach with the brush. And so that as a tip in case it works for you. Then, undeniably, all this required a process, and indeed I removed the entire issue of the doors, but my husband reinstalled them because the doors needed fitting, and naturally, since they were painted well, they have larger chupelin, but sufficiently so. It's somewhat challenging for you to fit them, so my husband dedicated himself to that task. Now you notice I've already utilized it well to get the kitchen in order. We're planning to organize and clean it thoroughly, performing the typical weekly deep cleaning. Indeed, I've realized that particularly the bile section needs everything removed and cleaned properly, especially the area where I store spices and legumes. Ultimately, when I move jars around, crumbs inevitably fall, making this a task that requires attention. I am normal during the week because I retouch the furniture, I maintain the refrigerator, or I do the monthly dishwasher with all its filters and things. But it is true that I don't go deep enough to get everything out of the furniture. Okay, here the only thing you're going to see me is that I'm going to get a little organized, because in the end you see how the furniture is, because here everyone puts their hand in and everyone disorganizes but no one orders, so that's what I'm going to do. And basically clean a little the areas that I usually clean once a week, and then you are going to see the knobs that we put, which you are seeing there, which are black. They are the typical black metallic knobs, and we wanted that to give what the kitchen is a different touch. Did we? Well, that having all the little furniture white, and since everything was so white, well, adding touches of black, that I think it's quite good what appliances are. that we have them in stainless steel. We changed black metal pins like the dispenser because the truth is that the other one was broken. I don't know that we took the opportunity to change for this what we have in Zara, and it is like imitation stone. Is ceramic really worth as much as stone? Well, I just watched with the last clips of the final result. Forgive me if my screamers may bother anyone, but you already know what the little ones are like when they start babbling and so on, because it is difficult for them to stay silent. As I say, I'll stop with the last clicks. Basically, well, I've made this change. Well, you already know we try to do everything low cost and put the house well to our taste, in our style, always saving as much money as possible. That is one of the hallmarks of this channel. And if I help with this, then let someone get ideas. Let them be encouraged to change that room of their house that they need. Well, that's it. A lap then. You are welcome, and well, that too, well, to motivate you and give you ideas. And if so, then I invite you to give it likes, because you help me a lot to recommend YouTube to me and to continue growing. That here I always leave you the networks, well, to have greater contact, and that if I am new to the channel, these subscribers, well, I invite you to do so, because it is totally free, and yes, the majority of the people who see me are not subscribed. So well, nothing. Thank you very much for seeing me. Bye.